So it says the Death Stranding began when the beach, a world between the afterlife and the physical world of the living, became entangled with the living world. This entanglement led to a series of simultaneous explosions around the world, which were initially attributed to nuclear terrorism or meteor impacts, but were later identified as matter-antimatter annihilation events. These events resulted in the connection between the worlds of the dead and the living, causing souls to remain tethered to their bodies after death, leading to the formation of beached things, BTs, and the destructive effects of timefall. That the exact cause of the entanglement is tied to the BB experiments and the return of the deceased son of Cliff Unger to life, fully bridging the worlds of the dead and the living. So like there's like a few big like terms. So like the beach things are basically okay. So like in Death Stranding,
something shit.
Yeah. So like in Death Stranding, you're immediately like in this world of like some kind of crazy world-ending event happen, and there's like enclaves of civilizations, and everybody's like back to like square one. Like it's like cities, but there's like only a few people in them, and everybody's like disconnected, and that's where you come in. You have to connect them all, and a lot of these little civilizations rely on people like Sam Bridges, who is a porter. He is like a mailman. He delivers packages, delivers whatever that these people need, and you're trying to connect all of these little enclaves, these little city civilizations, to what they call like the Cairo network. And it's basically a way for like civilization to continue to thrive, to always be okay, to make sure that that everybody has what they need. And it's like this game is like a big metaphor for the need for connection between people. And that's why in the game they don't let you kill. I mean, you can kill whatever you want, but if you kill something, you have to take that body to a furnace. Otherwise, a giant I forget what they're called. I don't know if they're called BTs themselves, but they're like these giant like these massive fucking beings that if they were to reach that dead body, it could basically cause like a giant nuclear explosion. And of course, like everybody wants to avoid that. So there are people who are out there trying to kill other people, but they're disposing of bodies. And there are people who are trying to use these giant Goliaths as like an ultimate weapon. So they're killing indiscriminately. And it's very scientific in the sense of these experiments gone wrong, these man trying to play with forces that are outside of himself. That's what caused. Yeah, exactly. So like bringing like not wanting to die, like people just didn't want to die, these scientists, idiots. And they were like, well, let's play God and let's like make us live forever. And so they brought the afterlife. They like merged the afterlife with the world with the living, which the afterlife is called like the beach or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's where like all the dead are supposed to be going. And as far as like story and like what you go through, or like what Sam goes through, is just like all those people, those different kinds of people that I talked about, the people who are trying to connect, the people who are trying to destroy, the people who are just trying to survive, or the people who are even trying to like
I'm assuming,
I guess, study it further.
I'm assuming they have low birth rates because I'm seeing a lot of babies on there just delivering shit. I'm just like, I don't.
So
what are they doing?
Those babies are they are like babies, but they're like somewhat of like a scientific, like not a scientific, I don't want to say that, like they're like what's like the word for it? Again, it's like artificial.
So
yeah, it's like experiments. They're like artificial. But I mean, from the trailer of Death Stranding 2, it looks like these babies can actually grow into something.
Oh, geez.
But from what I've seen, is that these babies are tied to the like the beach in some way. Like, so you carry your
like
baby.
The death realm.
Yes, and so these are your canaries in like a coal mine. So when BTs are around you, that are basically like the spirits, like because you can't see them unless you have your baby, what they call BBs, on you. They're like these invisible like ghosts that like will fuck you up.
Oh,
and
jeez.
but these babies, they'll like freak out and whatever, and
Yeah.
they'll like basically operate your little like mech arm to kind of like show you where they are, and you can start seeing them a little better. But it is like a pretty complicated, like excuse me, like a storyline.
Yeah, it looks like a weird storyline from what I'm looking at.
It looks fucking sick though. Just watching this trailer, like as we been fucking talking,
Mhm.
this shit looks
Yeah.
fucking like really good. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of, I don't know, the first one I was like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
same
this?
same
I
for
don't
me.
feel like they did a really good job at marketing the first game, because basically they should just have fucking Raven as their marketer, because now I give a shit. Before I was like, you have a big ass fucking backpack and everything's fucking gray. Here's the
Yeah,
game.
everything's gray.
You're just
Here's a
walking.
soundtrack by
What else you doing? You're
Woodkid.
just walking.
Yeah.
And you don't know why you're walking. They don't show you really, like,
Anything.
because a lot of the actual gameplay, a lot of the story is tied behind these, like, spoiler cutscenes. And so
yeah.
all people show ever is walking. And it's like, yeah, that is a pretty large part of the game.
It's because it's very cinematic. The game, it looks like.
Absolutely.
Which I love.
That's what
I
it's
love
meant to
games that
be.
are cinematic. Elden Ring is cinematic. Even though when it's not even being cinematic, it's cinematic.